ladies, and welcome back to Rosewater. In the last episode, we went and arrived at the town of Rosewater for our new job, and we were asked to interview Gentleman Jack. We have just been to his show.
Locked.
Now we have to go and interview him at his hotel.
I'm telling you, Jake, I need that money tonight.
You knew the deal going in, Charlie. There's nothing I can do about it.
We'll see about that.
Hope I'm not interrupting, gentlemen.
So yeah, we were asked as our first job at the Rosewater newspaper to interview Gentleman Jack. And in the process of doing so, to get to the interview, we had to steal someone's, it turned out we had to steal someone's pocket watch, which was not great.
My friend here was just saying his farewells. Weren't you, Charlie? Please do pardon that unpleasant display. What can I do for you, my dear?
Name's Harley Leger. I'd like to interview you for the Rosewater Post.
Well, shucks, it would be my pleasure, Miss Leger. Shall we go upstairs to my room? Beats standing out here in the dust.
Lead on.
Miss Leger, permit me to introduce my associate, Danny Luo.
We've met, actually. Not formally, I suppose. Nice to properly make your acquaintance, Miss Leger.
Likewise, Mr. Luo.
Please, you can call me Danny. Everybody does.
So what did you think of the show? Pretty spectacular, huh?
It was pretty good.
Yes, that's definitely the word for it.
I'm glad you think so. Shall we proceed with the interview?
Right.
What brings your soul to Rosewater?
How did you come to pick Rosewater as your latest venue?
Simple. Plenty of folk in this town are looking for a good show. I ain't so hoity-toity as to think El Presidio or Los Virgenes are the only places worth visiting. After spending all day bent double over a pan in a creek or working his keister off down in a mine, a man is entitled to some amusement, wouldn't you say?
What is your greatest accomplishment?
You're clearly a man of great deeds. Which would you say has been your greatest?
I value all my accomplishments equally, Miss Leger. To single any one out would diminish the others. I couldn't bring myself to do that.
What a noble sentiment.
I like to think so.
Your real story, is there anything that scares you?
Is there anything that frightens the mighty gentleman Jake?
You know, somebody once told me, fear is only as deep as the mind allows. When you deal with the type of folks out on the frontier that I do, marauders, bandits, desperados, your fears have got to be shallow. Otherwise, you won't last 2 seconds.
What's something nobody knows about you? Give me something juicy.
I'm something of an open book, Miss Leger. Keeping secrets ain't really my modus operandi.
Come on, everyone's got secrets.
Oh, I think you'll find I'm not like most folk.
Hey, Jake, don't you have an appointment with Miss Sally this evening?
Damn, you're right. Sorry to cut things short, Miss Leger. I've got another engagement I need to prepare for.
I should have plenty for my article. I appreciate your time.
Well, I look forward to reading your story in the next edition. Danny, see the lady out, would you?
Good meeting you, Danny. Guess I'll see you around. Not to worry, gents. Jake's all yours. Hey, you were in the show. Nice juggling.
Thank you, ma'am. Jake, get your ass out here right now, you four-flusher.
Now, what's all the ruckus?
Don't play the fool with me, Ackerman. You know damn well why I'm here. You might think you can give me the runaround, but I wonder if my friends here won't convince you to pay up.
Charlie. Didn't anybody ever tell you only cowards get others to solve their problems for them?
You slum-guzzling bastard. I'm gonna fix that wobbling jaw of yours.
Come on up here, then.
Are you sure you won't reconsider, Charlie?
Shut the hell up and get out of my way. McGuire, take care of the kid. Let's dance, cowboy.
I suggest you clear out while you can, little lady. This could get ugly.
From where I'm standing, it's pretty damn ugly already. Hey!
So that's how you want it, huh? Fine. I'll let the boss deal with you when he's done.
Okay, so what can we interact with? We can't get out that he's blocking it.
Food delivery.
Give him a new face.
Okay, let's grab the bottle.
Hey! Don't start any trouble, lady.
Yeah.
Whoopsie daisy.
That works.
Nothing.
Let's take this. Smack him with that.
Hey, nice one.
Not the most honorable way of winning a fight, but these boys were hardly playing fair.
Hey, Charlie. Looks like your guys weren't as tough as you hoped.
Whoo-wee! That got the old blood pumping.
You've got some interesting associates, Mr. Ackerman. If you'll excuse me, I have an article to write.
Hang on just a minute. I'd be a fool to just let you walk away after that performance. Come on back up here. I've got a business proposition that may interest you.
What about Miss Sally?
Oh, she can wait. All right, Miss Leger, I won't beat around the bush. Danny and I are looking to get some folks together for a job, and I think you'd make a damn fine addition to the team.
What sort of job?
Ever hear of Dr. Bennett Clark?
He's the bloke that's... Okay, for those of you who didn't watch all the way through the first episode, this world seems to be sort of like an alternative timeline where it's the Wild West, but not quite as we know it. And they seem to be using some kind of alternative power source. They also have a fleet of airships that are making cross-continental trips. But the gentleman he's talking about is rather well known.
Of course. The etheric researcher. What about him?
Dr. Clark moved out here not long after the big disaster back in Lamplight City. He kept up his research, even did some demonstrations at the Opera House. Till one day, he just up and vanished. Nobody's seen hide nor hair of him in nearly a year.
So you want to find him?
And you want to go looking for him?
Oh, I want to go looking all right. The thing is, we're going in search of Dr. Clark's fortune.
Come again?
The feller was loaded. Somehow he managed to talk a bunch of big money investors from back east into financing his research. All those gizmos and doodads don't come cheap, you know? we find his stash, we'll all be rolling in it for years to come.
Stash? What stash? Surely it's all just numbers on a ledger somewhere.
Nope. I'm telling you, he kept his assets in cold, hard cash.
So you're looking to rob a man blind just because nobody knows where he is?
Now, nothing so uncouth as that. Picture this, a swashbuckling pirate captain, his vessel freighted with treasure. The vast fleets of law and order circling him, closing in. He digs a hole in the sands of some sun-kissed tropical beach to conceal his ill-gotten loot and makes himself scarce. Circumstance conspires to deprive him of the opportunity to return. Now, is the brave treasure hunter who seeks and unearths the bounty guilty of robbery? Or is he just returning to the world what would otherwise lie forgotten and worthless? See, we're not after Clark's personal wealth. The money in question was meant to bankroll his etheric research. Since that's been outlawed, he can't touch it. And it's a drop in the ocean for the investors. They'll never miss it.
How many folks are you planning on bringing into this?
That depends on what we find. But I promise you, we'll all get a fair split, enough to make it all worthwhile.
What's your plan?
Clark had a lab nearby, a couple miles outside of town. Last place anybody saw him. We poke around there, retrace his steps, and it should lead us straight to the loot.
Uh-huh.
Now, call me crazy, but I get the impression you're not entirely convinced.
I'm not. Let's see, which one do we pick? Let's go with sarcastic.
Why on earth would you think that? Couple of folks I don't know from Adam asked me to help them hunt for some money that probably doesn't even exist. How could I not be convinced?
I admit we're asking you to put a lot of faith in us. Hell, I'd probably be just as incredulous were I in your position.
Mr. Ackerman's a good man, Miss Leger. He's never led me astray in all the time I've known him.
I appreciate it, Danny, but I think Miss Leger's gonna need a little more than just your word. Look, I've known quite a few moneyed folk in my time. They all got one thing in common. You know what that is?
Let's say, ironically, people who are really wealthy tend to hoard it.
They couldn't give a rat's ass about folks like you and me.
I admit I cannot emphatically contradict you there, but not what I meant.
So what do they have in common?
They're good at keeping their money
Yeah.
safe. Clark's cash is out there. I just know it. As far as your safety, you just took out a couple of brutes twice our size. It's plain to see you can take care of yourself.
I'm pretty good with my pistols, and Mr. Ackerman can talk his way out of anything. But we could use somebody who's good in a fight.
Besides, stick around old Jake long enough and you'll have enough material to write a whole book. Forget a measly little write-up in the local rag. I'm offering you a front row seat to a much better show. So, what do you say?
I'm in, but no funny business, yeah.
All right, Mr. Ackerman. I'm in, but try anything funny, and I walk.
Understood.
You won't regret this, Miss Leger.
We'll set out for the lab at daybreak. And please, call me Jake.
Dr. Clark's laboratory is a short hike from Rosewater.
What is happening with this interview? We were supposed to return to write up the report.
After getting run out of Lamplight City, this is where he went to ground. A secluded desert facility where he could get up to who knows what. Jake, Danny, and I head there at first light to see what secrets he left behind.
Quite a sight, ain't it?
I'll say. What the hell was Clark doing out here?
That's a question for minds greater than ours, Miss Leger.
Okay, so let's look at the diary. Okay. I want to recount first note of my article. First notes for my article, but all the excitement dulls my recollection. So it was entertaining enough. Okay. Clown decided call a broad comic interludes. Interview Jack, can't make out my transcript, pure chicken scratch, and I can hardly remember a thing of consequence he said. We'll have to improvise when the time comes to set it down. Okay. So our notes are going to be jumbled. On to more consequential matters. I have been recruited to take part in the curious quest. Jack Ackerman seeks the missing fortune of the disgraced and now mysteriously vanished inventor of authenticity, Dr. Bennett Clark. He has come upon a lead and is utterly convinced it will succeed. Intriguing prospect. Travel and collect materials for the perhaps second post article. Not to mention the pay I may promise to receive for my part of this endeavour. After I helped resolve a saloon brawl, Charlie is no longer satisfied to pay the fool, it seems. Okay. I might be service him as a kind of bodyguard. Try as I might toward the path of peace, the way my way is streamed with folks in need of clobbering. Those would have me clobber them. Right, laboratories sort of hike from Rosewater, a couple getting run out of Lamb City, blah blah blah. Okay. So you can talk to them, go to the lab. Let's talk to them first.
Hey, Danny?
Ma'am?
Let's see how long he's known each other.
I want to know something about you, Danny.
Okay. Like what?
You and Jake known each other long?
Gosh, that's a good question. I guess it's been about 2 years?
Sounds about right.
Time goes by quick when you travel around as much as we do.
How did you two meet up, anyway?
Oh, Jake tells the story much better than I do. Ask him.
What did you do before becoming Jake's assistant?
Oh, nothing glamorous. I was a stable hand in Quick Point. Life with Gentleman Jake is certainly more, lively.
Just how old are you, anyway?
I'll be 21 this winter. But I can handle myself just fine, if that's what you're worried about.
True enough. Danny's more experienced than some folk twice his age. You'd be a fool to underestimate him.
Have you got any family?
Sure. My parents and older brother live on the coast, near El Presidio. I write them every month. I haven't seen them in a dog's age, though. But Jake's been like family to me, really.
We should get a move on. Look sharp, Danny. No telling what we might find out here.
Right you are, Miss Leger.
Can we talk?
What's on your mind?
I've got some more questions about you.
I'm always happy to answer.
How'd you and Danny get together?
I was packing up after a run of shows in Quick Point, having a hard time of it. You see, my assistant had up and left a few days prior, so I was flying solo.
Your assistant left? Why?
The showman's life ain't for everybody. I don't fault him for it. Anyhow, Danny comes up and offers to help with the crates. You should have seen him. Eyes wide, hands shaking, downright charming. So Danny gives me a hand and we get to talking. Turns out he's got experience roping and shooting. He even gave me a demonstration. I offered him the job as my assistant on the spot. The rest, as they say, is history.
Would you care to recount some of your previous adventures?
I'd love to, but I'm afraid now just ain't the time. Soon as we have a respite, I'll be glad to regale you.
I'm impressed, Miss Leger. Never thought I'd live to see the day Jake refused to tell a story.
Just how did you come to learn about Clark's money?
Not long ago, I got to talking with a feller at the saloon. The whiskey had loosened his lips, and he blabbed all about the success of his Orem claim. But then he told me about how he'd invested most of that Orem in Clark's research, and how he wasn't the only one.
And you're certain these investors won't be wanting their money back?
Can't speak for the rest, but this feller won't. See, his aforementioned loose lips got him into trouble with some other folk. Poor bastard was shot dead in the street.
I see. Enough jabber. Let's push on.
Wait, so he talked about how successful his claim had been, and they'd invested it. So this is the thing you had to remember from the last episode, folks. In the last episode, we learnt that allegedly all the deposits that were being mined in this area for this mineral or material, whatever it is, this Orem, was supposed to be really shallow and weren't profitable. But this guy said it was profitable, and now he's dead, which suggests that it might be a cover-up after all, which is what I theorized in the first episode when we saw that it had sown. It basically what had happened. They had a lamplight exhibition, and at the expo, someone had gone wrong and he'd vaporized a ton of people, and the research had been outlawed. But I was arguing that it sounded more like it had been covered up. Because obviously,
There's something you don't see every day.
A vast amount of power, government wants to control it, that kind of thing.
You can say that again.
Let's go and have a look.
Guess it shouldn't come as a surprise that the front door is not wide open for us.
That's a serious-looking lock.
So, how are we supposed to get in?
Battering ram, dynamite, locksmith.
Know if there are any locksmiths in town?
I'd prefer if we handled this ourselves. My old pal Captain Stokes is stationed nearby at Fort Beaumont. He owes me a favor, or two.
Maybe he could give us some high-powered equipment to get inside.
You read my mind, Danny boy. Wouldn't do any harm to take a look around out here first, though.
Locked up tight.
Whoever closed this place up really didn't want anybody getting in.
This is one of the sturdiest locks I've ever seen.
I think we're gonna need to get creative. The fort stockpile might have something that could help.
So what can we interact with? Let's see what's here.
Dr. Clark really liked his sarsaparilla. There must be at least 30 empty bottles in these crates.
I once drank 10 bottles of sarsaparilla for a bet.
Did you win?
Well, yes, and no.
Doing some tidying, are we?
We might find some use for these. Come help me. I can't carry them all myself.
Hey, I ain't gonna start belly aching if you want to go around collecting refuse. Might fetch us a few shillings if we sell them back at the Jack of Diamonds.
There you go. And some for you.
Thanks.
Must take ages for any correspondence to get out here.
Probably beats having to hike into town, though.
Looks like Clark missed his last mail delivery.
What did we find?
Seems to be from another scientist.
February 12th, 1850. Dr. Clark, I hope this letter finds you well. Upon hearing news of the reactionary and ignorant ban our leaders have seen fit to impose, my thoughts went to you and your thankless labors in the wilderness. When they hounded you out after the expo, and I wouldn't be surprised if Leroy's cronies sabotaged your display to discredit you, you were undaunted. After enduring such a trying year, I know how much building that lab out there meant to you. A turning point in your fortunes, or so it seemed. Yet I am sure you will persevere once more. One day when rationality again prevails in the halls of government and this silly thing is lifted, I hope to take you up on your offer of a tour. If you've returned to the bosom of civilization by then, all the better. With warm regards, Dr. Roderick Nethersoul. P.S. How you managed to rig a TT-180 console to control both your equipment and door mechanisms still baffles me. Mine is destined for the scrapyard.
Okay.
The good doctor was pretty self-sufficient out here.
Okay, so we've looked at that.
Wonder if Dr. Clark boarded these up himself. Can we talk?
What's on?
Have you had any new ideas for getting inside the lab?
Not a one, unfortunately. I believe asking at the fort is our best hope.
Enough jabber. Let's push on. Hey, Danny?
Ma'am?
Got any of your own ideas on how we might get into the lab?
Well, I think Jake has the right idea. We should ask for help at the fort.
We should get a move on.
Okay, so let's go back to the fort. We'll go back. Go to the fort or go to town? Who are you?
What are you doing? This is no place for sightseers.
Who are you?
And just who in the ether are you?
Such disrespect. You toy with forces you do not understand.
The lady asked you a question, sir.
Heed my warning. Stay away from this place. Its mysteries are not for you.
Hey, wait! You forgot your... hat?
What was that all about?
Good question. Tinfoil. Why was that man wearing it as a hat?
Wear the hat. Unlikely to.
Can we talk?
What's on?
Any idea who that odd fellow with the beard was?
Not a clue. Sure seemed a few cows short of a herd, didn't he?
I'll say. Let's hope he doesn't cause us any trouble. Enough jabber. Let's push on.
I mean, at this instance, I would suspect maybe Dr. Clark. Maybe this is the thing you had to remember of science in like the 1900s. That unfortunately a lot of the scientists didn't really know what they were messing with. So, for example, one of the scientists who like looked into radiation, for example, I can never remember her name, but both her and her husband basically died from radiation poisoning. I mean, I believe her shed where she did her experiments, they had to bury it in concrete after she died because it was so radioactive it like glowed at night, because they didn't understand how dangerous radiation was. So it's quite possible that it might be Dr. Clark. He might have gone completely crazy and is running
Danny.
around in the wilderness.
Ma'am?
Who do you suppose that odd bearded fellow was?
I don't know, but I hope we don't run into him again. He gave me a strange feeling.
We should get a move on.
Okay.
No sign of that odd bearded fellow. I wonder where he scampered off to.
I reckon we got ourselves bigger fish to fry right now, Miss Leger.
Okay, so We can only go back to the research post and to the fort. Okay.
Hey, look, a show!
What a racket.
She's pretty good, though.
Caramba! Anda! Híjole!
Okay, we're coming to a reserve.
Excuse me? I said, excuse me. Hey!
Caramba, you made me miss. What do you want?
Who are you, and what are you doing out here?
I am Marisol de la Vega, Lieutenant General of the Constitutional Army of New Spain. My compadre is Corporal Eugenio Garcia.
Pleasure. I'm Harley Leger, and these are my associates Jake Ackerman and Danny Luo.
Good to meet you. In answer to your second question, Eugenio and I are practicing our shooting while we wait for our jefe to conclude his business.
Who did you say you were waiting for?
Our leader, General Filomeno Marquez. Surely you've heard of him.
Yes, we can lie. Of course, Great General Mantes. Nope. And then it's ringing the bells.
Afraid not.
Híjole, it really is true. Vespuccians don't pay attention to anything unless it happens right in front of their faces. You do not know of the new Spanish Revolution?
Should I?
Ugh.
What about this revolution, then?
I do not have the time or the desire to explain the particulars of our struggle to you. Pick up a non-imperialist periodical if you can find one, and you might learn something.
Do you know anything about the laboratory just over yonder?
That abandoned wreck is a laboratory?
It was at some point.
Clearly you know more about it than I do.
That's all for now. Happy shooting.
Thanks, gringa.
Best not to disturb her unless I've got something to say.
Okay. So.
Bye.
That thing has seen some action.
Let's talk to Ackerman.
How are you holding up, Jake?
Oh, just fine, just fine.
Look sharp, Danny. No telling what we might find out here.
Right you are, Miss Leger.
Caramba!
Nobody in sight, but I'm sure there are guards somewhere. Hey, anybody in there?
What is it?
We'd like to come in, please.
More unannounced visitors? Must be. What country exiled you?
None. We just want to speak with Captain Stokes.
Afraid he's indisposed.
Why don't you tell Stokes that Jake Ackerman needs a word?
Gentleman Jake?
At your service.
We're not in the market for entertainment. It's like I said. Oh, dad blasted. Would you knock it off with the shooting already? I can't hear myself think!
You call yourself a soldier when the sound of gunfire sets you quivering like a coward? Pathetic.
Look, I can't help you. I'm sorry.
I wouldn't be asking to see Captain Stokes if it wasn't important.
I opened the gate for the last person who said that to me today. And what did I get as a reward? His 2 cronies raising hell for the past hour. No, ma'am, not again.
What do you all get up to in this place?
I'm really not at liberty to say, ma'am.
Would you happen to know anything about the lab just over that way?
No, and quite frankly, I don't care to.
Carry on, so...
Right.
Sturdy. No handles. Must only open from the inside.
Vaya. Anda!
Hey, Dan.
Ma'am,
How can we get into the fort?
the guard seems upset about all the noise. Maybe he'll warm to us if we can figure out some way to take care of it.
We should get a move on.
Híjole!
Can we talk?
What's on your mind?
How are we supposed to get into the fort?
Good question. I figured it'd be a breeze. But the guard's ornery as a mama bear with a sore teeth. We need to figure out how to get on his good side.
Enough jabber. Let's push on. Hey!
You again? What is it now?
Say, do you think you could practice your shooting somewhere else?
Why?
The fort guard isn't happy about the noise.
Well, then maybe he should choose another profession.
You're pretty good, but I bet I can beat you at shooting.
I am the best shot in New Spain.
Care to prove it?
Gladly. But a large stationary target such as this is not suitable for a contest. If you wish to challenge me, find some moving targets.
Can we use these bottles as targets?
Indeed, we can. Very well. Prepare to be humiliated.
Say, Jake, could you give us a hand?
My pleasure.
How many bottles are there?
About 30.
Then we will each shoot at 5. Whoever breaks the most wins.
Sounds fair.
I am feeling generous this morning. Would you like the opportunity to practice first?
Yes, actually.
Very well.
Ready with those bottles, Jake?
Yep, get ready. Set. Here we go!
You missed!
Bottle in the air!
Well, I'll be.
Bottle in the air!
Damn it!
Bottle in the air! Incoming!
Damn it!
Let us hope you improve very quickly. All right, for real this time.
Ready? Set. Incoming! Here we go! Bottle in the air! Incoming! Here we go!
My turn!
Bottle in the air!
Dale!
Incoming!
Dale!
Here we go!
Anda!
Incoming!
Dale!
Here we go!
Man, this is really hard.
I win! Better luck next time, sweetheart.
Hey,
Ma'am?
you said before you were good with your pistols. Think you can teach that show-off a lesson?
It'll be my pleasure. Excuse me, ma'am?
What do you want, boy?
I think I'd like to beat you at that bottle shooting.
Oh, this is gonna be good. All right, kid, let's see what you got.
Why don't you go first? Show me how it's done.
My pleasure.
Ready? Set. Incoming!
Caramba!
Incoming!
Take that!
Incoming!
Dale!
Bottle in the air!
Damn!
Bottle in the air!
Anda! Let's see you beat that.
Ready, Danny boy?
Yep. Don't worry about the warnings. Just throw.
Don't believe this. Beaten by a Cochinito de mierda. Eugenio, vámonos de aquí.
She's not a very good sport.
Never mind her. That was some fine shooting.
Sure was. You weren't kidding about being good with those pistols.
It was nothing. But thanks.
I suspect we could have probably done it ourselves as well,
How are you holding up, Jake?
but those things were moving too quickly for me to easily do it. To be honest, I was never good at games like that.
Oh, just fine, just fine.
Hey, Danny?
Ma'am?
So, where did you learn to shoot?
I, used to know some folks that were handy with pistols. They gave me a few pointers, and I just sort of picked it up.
Pshaw. Danny's got enough modesty to choke a horse. He's one of the finest shots I've ever seen. Almost as good as yours truly.
We should get a move on. Hey, guard!
What is it?
Sure is a nice, peaceful morning, isn't it?
What happened to those cacophonous varmints?
They took their business elsewhere. Now, would you be so kind as to let us in?
So long as you promise to keep it down.
Deal.
Well now, what have we here?
I appreciate your hospitality, Captain, but I must admit I am perplexed by the change in your position.
It's not my position, General Marquez. It's the position of the government of the Commonwealth of Vespuccia. I have some discretion in the execution of my orders, but I'm sure you can appreciate that there's a chain of command.
I am, of course, most grateful for the aid you have rendered in the past. I am sure that your recommendations carry weight with your superiors. If you would be willing to lend your influence in support of our cause.
Perhaps we can speak of this at another time, Mr. Marquez. As I said, I have other concerns to deal with.
Of course. I look forward to our next meeting.
Captain Stokes, you're a difficult man to see.
Ackerman, how the hell are you?
Leave this to me. I'll have Stokes eaten from the palm of my hand.
Good day, Captain. Madam? Just a moment. I have seen you before.
I'm surprised you saw much of anything after that tumble you had.
Ah, of course. The newspaper office. I am grateful for your assistance. Although, I would have preferred to keep the law out of it. That sheriff is too eager to question outsiders. What's your name, anyway?
Harley Leger. This is Danny Luo, and over there is Jake Ackerman.
Sir?
I am General Filomeno Marquez. Though Filomeno seems to be difficult for you Vespuccians, so you may call me Phil.
Phil it is. Good to meet you.
And you? What brings you to the fort?
Not sure Jack's the one with the plan. Just passing through.
We were in the area and thought we'd pay a visit.
A social call?
Jake seems to think Stokes can help us get into the abandoned lab that's near here.
And why might that old ruin interest you, eh?
Just joke. Yeah, try and avoid question.
We were thinking it might make a nice hotel. Just need to spruce it up a bit. Then we can charge folks for rustic desert stays.
A Vespuccian with a sense of humor. I suppose stranger things have happened. In any case, there may be something in there to interest me as well. In fact, I could get the laboratory open so we could both go in. if Stokes were not so stingy with his munitions.
How do you mean?
My specialty is demolitions and explosives. I just do not have any on hand right now. I thought perhaps the captain might once again be willing to assist a fellow warrior in a righteous cause, but...
It's like I told Mr. Marquez, my hands are tied. Much as I'd like to help, I've got enough to worry about with my men missing. In fact, I was just heading out to search, so if you'll excuse me.
Hold your horses, Captain. How about we come with? I'm sure you could use the extra eyes.
It's mighty kind of you, Ackerman. Can't promise it'll be safe, though. We'll be going near native territory.
Come on, Stokes. You forget who you're talking to? I laugh in the face of danger. We'll ride with you.
Your friend is quite the braggadocio, no?
That's Jake for you, as colorful as they come.
You're all in, then?
Apparently so.
I will accompany you as well.
Sorry, who are you?
Y'all can get acquainted on the trail. Let's get going. Sun's almost up. Appreciate y'all coming out with me. Strength in numbers and all that.
Wait, isn't he a captain? Where, like, shouldn't he have an escort?
Our pleasure, Captain.
Exactly who is it you're looking for?
My first lieutenant, John Mulberry.
So when did your man go missing?
He left leading the patrol last evening and they never returned.
So it's not just the lieutenant, it's a lieutenant and an entire patrol.
I just hope the natives didn't get him. Things have been a bit tense of late.
What makes you believe the natives are behind Mulberry's disappearance?
Our patrol perimeter goes close to their village. Wouldn't be the first time we've come to blows over boundaries. They fall back once they see our superior firepower. Thankfully, they haven't got guns. But they've been getting mighty bold lately.
So you're saying they've gotten aggressive when you've gone near their land? Sounds to me like they're just defending themselves.
Miss Leger, with all due respect, you've no idea what you're talking about. We've already given these folks an inch, but they have taken a mile. The government's tried appeasing them with treaties and such, but those ain't worth the paper they're written on. You'd sooner reason with a coyote.
Well, I think... Ah!
Engines!
So far, we have been stymied in our efforts to search Clark's laboratory. Captain Stokes let out a search patrol, and he let all us supplicants tag along. But it wasn't enough to deter the native war party that ambushed us. Stokes slipped the trap laid for him, leaving us four to stand in his stead. Now we await intelligence of our captors and some sign of our fate.
Well, isn't this a fine turn of events?
Okay, let's check our diary. Storehouse location unknown. So far, we've been stymied in our effects to the laboratory, sealed tight. Jake had an idea to gain entry by blasting the door off. Applying to the Captain Stokes for supply munitions to this end. Met new Spanish revolutionaries. And had command, blah blah blah. Rest of the game, Marcus Danny proved more than capable. He's a fairly good shot. Gained admittance. Entertain our request to enter his other visitor, no less personage than General Filomeno Marquez. Phil, as he bid just call him. leader of the popular rebellion that Rex in Spain taking aid for his cause. I knew the man of this man not from any foreign news report. Here was the fellow who was flattened himself outside Jonah's office. He expressed his gratitude for my intervention. Led us on search patrol. That wasn't enough to turn a native war party that ambushed us. Stokes slipped through the trap, but we have been captured. Okay. So what can we interact with?
Dried corn. At least we won't starve.
If that's all there is, starving might be preferable.
Yeah, because you had to grind dry corn, or at least hydrated.
Dried corn. At least we won't starve.
If that's all...
Okay, so those are dry corn.
It's quite ornate. Brightens the place up, I suppose.
It is noble to find beauty in dark moments, but perhaps not so very useful.
Okay.
Hey, Jake?
Miss Leger?
How are you doing, Jake?
Been better, but you're a peach for asking. I'm just trying to come up with a way to get us out of here.
Did you manage to see what became of Captain Stokes?
No, I was a mite preoccupied. But I'm inclined to take the fact that he's not in here with us as a favorable sign.
Surely a fellow of daring do like yourself has been in a predicament like this before?
More times than I can count.
How do you manage to get free?
Well, you gotta understand, every situation's different. Easiest way's usually bribing a guard, but sometimes you gotta get creative. Well, it's one time But no, that wouldn't work here.
Why not?
'Cause I'd need a few things, and coming by them in here will be next to impossible.
If you've got a plan, it's at least worth trying.
I reckon you're right. Main thing I need is something pliable, like wax or soft wood. Then something sharp to shape it with. And finally, some shiny material. Metallic looking would be best. Find me those things, we might be in business.
I'll leave. Hey, Danny?
What is it?
Relax, Danny. It'll be okay.
You think so?
Sure. If these folks meant us any harm, they wouldn't have bothered capturing us.
I didn't think of it that way. I sure hope you're right.
Were you able to see how Captain Stokes fared?
I lost sight of him when I got knocked off my horse. Sure hope he made it, though.
You and Jake must have gotten into scrapes like this before, right?
Well, I have, yes. Although it was before I met Jake. But is this really the time for stories?
Fair enough. Perhaps another time. Got any thoughts on how we might get out of here?
They took my guns, so... no, really.
Got anything that might work for Jake's plan?
Sorry, Miss Leger. I haven't got anything.
Okay. Let's look at the gate.
Doesn't look very sturdy.
But it's barred on the other side.
Oh, what I would not give for a stick or two of dynamite right now.
In a confined space, mate? Are you crazy? The blast shockwave alone would kill us.
Eh?
Hey, chin up, Phil. It's not so bad in here.
Perhaps not. Compared to some places I have been imprisoned, this one is rather habitable.
So, this isn't the first time you've been locked up?
Certainly not. At least these people seem more hospitable to their prisoners than the Spanish.
Did you see what became of Captain Stokes?
Yes, though I wish I had not. Pinche cobarde.
That doesn't sound like a good thing.
He turned and ran. Took his men and abandoned us. To think I held him as a man of honor. Bastardo!
Whoa!
Easy there, Phil.
Forgive me, but I cannot abide a deserter.
It takes a low sort to abandon someone who's counting on you. You heard Jake's plan. Got anything that might fit the bill?
I do not believe so.
Got any suggestions for how we might get out of here?
Not just yet. I want to see how things play out.
What do you mean?
Something about this does not feel right. We know very little of our captors. I cannot devise anything until that changes.
I'll just be over here.
Okay.
Did smashing that pot make you feel any better?
It did, yes.
So, we have
This ceramic shard's got a very sharp edge.
something sharp.
I suppose all of these were made here. Quite a collection. This basket's full of soap.
Yeah, at least we can keep clean.
Uh-huh. Except there is no water in here.
Then let's hope we can get out of here soon.
Let's grab the soap.
Wonder what they use these for.
Head catchers would be my guess.
Hey, so funny.
It was not meant to be.
Empty.
For now.
Must be for storage. Completely empty. It's quite ornate.
It is, but...
Okay. So,
Hey,
Miss Liz.
I'll leave you.
what do we need
Hey, Jake,
Miss Liz.
could you remind me what you need to execute your plan?
Sure. Something pliable like wax or soft wood. Something sharp I can use for shaping. Something shiny, preferably metal-like.
I'll leave you. It's quite
It is not, but...
Will this work for what you need?
Shiny and metallic. Perfect.
Smells like lye. A block of... Is this pliable enough for you?
This'll do nicely.
This sharp enough for you?
It'll do, it'll do. Well, I'll be a monkey's uncle. You got everything.
Sure did. Now, will you tell me about this plan of yours?
I'm bluffing our way out of here. Give me a few minutes and you'll see what I mean. Voila.
You carved a gun out of soap and wrapped it in tinfoil?
That's right.
Clever.
You know, that's pretty crafty.
Why, thank you, Miss Leger. I thought so myself. Anyhow, soon as somebody comes in, I'll draw this and catch them off guard. You knock them out in the confusion, then we make our escape.
And you have confidence this will work?
These folk don't know firearms, they can't tell the difference.
But, what if...
Hello in there? I'm coming inside.
Well, ain't this fortuitous?
Greetings. I'm Nadine. I've come to...
Hands up!
Is that a fake gun?
Yes?
Don't mind my friend here. Nadine, was it?
Yes, Nadine Redbird.
Harley Leger.
We are going to put a cut in right now, folks. I've been Cornish-Knight, and I shall see you all again next time in the next continued saga of Rosewater. Goodbye.